So I am here to share a masculine happy birthday card with all of you. I know that that is probably one of the main setbacks, not setbacks, hang-ups, there we go, hang-ups in the card making world is how to make masculine cards. And my thing is how to like not add like tools, golfing, grilling, that type of thing to the card to make it masculine, as a lot of the men in my life are not into golfing, hunting, cars, that type of thing. So I am working with these Brass and Bliss products this month and trying to come up with a few ideas on how to make masculine cards, pretty much. And the first idea I had was first, usually when I go and make a masculine card, I pretty much go right to like stripes, repeating patterns, bold colors, pretty much. And that is kind of what I went here. Also, I am showing that don't count out all of your dies, like your holiday dies and dies that aren't necessarily birthday dies. Shop your stash. I'm always trying to shop my stash. I'm always trying to figure out different ways to use my stash so that dies, because they're expensive, are not so one-dimensional products. So, this idea I had is I wanted to put a big birthday sentiment in the middle. That's another way that I try and get through a masculine card. I shouldn't say get through. I feel like I'm making it like a horrible thing. Is let's just face it. We love putting florals and, beautiful things on cards. And when we go to make a card for a man or a more masculine card, it is always like, where do I even start? At least it is for me. I don't know. Leave in the comments. Is it hard for you to make a masculine card? I'm just always so drawn, obviously, to florals. So I thought, hey, what about like repeating presents? I didn't really have a present die for birthdays. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, but what? I mean, we just came out of Christmas, right? I had this die from them, and it was the Santa bag die, and it had where you could put like presents in the Santa bag. So I was like, oh, there we go. See, and I am not going to probably use this die for a very long time until we get back into making Christmas cards. Okay, let's just admit that's probably going to be like a month for me. I'm always making Christmas cards. But for a lot of people, they're going to put away all of their Christmas stuff and put away all of their Christmas dies and don't count those dies out quite yet. So here I am. I'm using the large birthday stamp set with coordinating dies. I bought, I stamped that in embossing ink, and then pulled out silver. I know I'm not even a silver girl, but I did pull that out to emboss. And I'm so sorry for my voice and for any pauses that I have to make. Unfortunately, guys, I have been uber sick the month of December, unfortunately. Been putting many stops to all of our holiday fun, but I'm trying to recover and I'm trying to get these videos done for you guys. So if I sound nasally, I'm so sorry. I am, unfortunately. All right, so we embossed those, and we are going to cut those out with our coordinating dies. But what you are going to see here is I am going to put these on top of white cardstock. I also did cut out my top layer, that white cardstock, with our decal nesting dies. I'm pretty much obsessed with those nesting dies. I think that that adds a perfect touch to a lot of masculine cards. It gives it that torn edge effect. So you definitely want to pick yourself up one of those. I think that they're just so versatile. I think I've used this nesting deckled set so many times in cards since I've had it. It's one of my favorites so far. All right. I think that kind of like my other card where I had the scalloped edge where it adds just like the perfect feminine touch. The decal edge is that for a masculine card, pretty much. I think it just adds a perfect touch. Okay. So as you can see, I just put those on that card and I'm just like, okay, like it, but it's not really popping, right? So we need a drop shadow. So I'm just going to take those shadow dies from the Happy Birthday coordinating die set and cut those out of that navy paper. And I'm going to just drop shadow that, I think down and to the right, I think is what, no, I think I do drop down and to the left. And for the most part, most of us card makers are already stacking our dies. And so this is a perfect base to that anyways. I was going to most likely pop those up anyways. Yes, so down and to the left, actually. There we go. And that way they just pop off that page. So if you're definitely losing something in your cards, pop them up. Pop them up, and even if you're just popping them up on regular white cardstock, pop them up, or add a dark base to them and drop shadow it. And I think that popped those up perfectly on there. Look at that. It just adds just this little bit of touch, and most people won't even notice that is happening, but it just, you see how that just lifted those right off the page. I love that. All right. I am working through this card with you guys. You've seen that I went through all that pattern paper and die cut that off camera because obviously nobody wants to sit through all of that. This would probably be the most time consuming part of this. I went through a lot of different options for this card. If I wanted to add the bows, if I didn't want to add the bows, I decided I wasn't going to add the bows, because the bows did take up a lot of space. And I don't know, the bows just didn't look right on the card for me. So I am just putting the tops of the boxes on here. And like I said, this is probably the most time consuming part of it. But I like putting together die cuts. So, you can, I don't know if you could really skip this, but you can, do this while watching a show. I usually put it on. So here you see I've skipped ahead a little bit. That's probably where I sat there looking at all the bows. I did die cut all of the bows. All the bows are to the side here. I did even put some together that are over here on the right. And though they're super cute. If you love the bows, put the bows on there. But what the vision I had in my head to kind of make this into a grid pattern, the bows were just not going to fit, obviously. So now all we have to do is go through this and put them all on the line. I literally didn't think too much about this. I was trying not to think too much about this because this is where I generally will start to think too much about this and like what colors were going where and what, how many I had of which ones. I literally just laid them out like this and ended up putting them down pretty much because this is where I tend to start just second guessing myself pretty much. So yes, I was just like, nope, let's just put them down on the paper and get them down. I did end up not using that Happy Birthday paper, but I loved the confetti paper, so don't count out your pattern papers. I used to count out my pattern papers a lot, and they just add a fun touch. That confetti paper is perfect wrapping paper, right? Think of it that way. And absolutely loved it. So just using all of the things and getting these down. As you can see, again, just putting together all of these little pieces, using my little picker up tool, whatever you want to call that. I think 15 billion people have different names for it. This one just came off of Amazon, but you can literally get I think like every company sells something along these lines. What I want to get out of this video is, don't discount those dies, those little ones. Go through your stash. I always am trying to make myself familiar with my stash. I like to just look through my stash. A lot of dies, as dies are expensive. This craft is not, a cheap craft. I mean, it can be if you want it to be. But, dies and stamps and what we're investing in our stash is, an investment. That's exactly what it is. So definitely remember all those little dies that we're buying, the, little Santa or a sleigh, or a lot of the times in my stamp sets, I totally gloss over the little stamps in those sets, where I'll go back and be like, oh my gosh, there was like a little candy cane there, or there was a present there on a birthday set that I could have used during Christmas, or something along those lines. When we're looking for something that is little, make sure to familiarize yourself with your stash. And I think that in the month of January here, I think that's a good time to do it, as we're coming off of the busy Christmas season. Go through your stash, refamiliarize yourself with what you already have. All right, so never is a card finished without doing the inside of a card. This is one thing in 2025 that I definitely want to get better at, is just getting the inside of the stamp done and the envelope. I know a lot of people don't do the envelope, but I love doing the envelopes. So I'm really going to try, and even though I don't do the envelope on this one, sorry guys, I was a little too under the weather, but I did at least get the inside of this card done. So using those sentiments in the snarky birthday sentiment stamps, there is so many good ones in there for older people and for the younger one. There's a sentiment in there that says, don't grow up, it's a trap. I love that. So there's the inside of my card, and here comes the outside of my card. Again, don't forget to look through all those stamp sets and die sets and find the little ones that will help you make a great card. Until next time, guys.